one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague launch fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
PB at 6 o'clock, 5:30 airtime on most of these stations you're listening to right now. It is also Jackie Robinson Day across Major League Baseball. I think everybody still wears number 42. The only day the number does get worn in the major leagues. Tax day as well. I'm sure everybody got that taken care of. I put a couple of checks in the mail this morning. Made sure that I put the. Do you have the mailbox where you got the little flag that you put up there so that the mailman knows to make sure to come and take it and not just leave all the crap that usually comes in your mail? Yeah, these are the two things I never have to worry about. Well, I guess now, since I'm an adult, my father's a pediatric dentist, so as a kid, I didn't have to worry about paying for my dental care. But as I got older, I can appreciate the idea of a tax expert and a mother who is going to make sure that I get my taxes done before she takes care of everybody else's, because it's such a pain in the ass to be a tax professional. So thanks and I always got to do it publicly, whether it's on a game broadcast. I did this for years when I was doing the Travelers, and we would have Screaming Kids Day sometimes on tax day. Thank you very much, Mom, for doing that and for making sure that you pestered me about it, to where I've become so much better. There were years where I would get the taxes done today, and now it's a couple of years where I've actually gotten it done the start of February. So I don't know. It makes you feel responsible, which I don't know if I like that feeling, Matt, but you do have to take care of these things sometimes, all the time. You know what else today is? This is the day before portal season reopens for college football, and I was thinking about, again, this is not like professional football. We have to stop making comparisons to say this is like the NFL, because it's nothing like the NFL. In the NFL, the day before free agency opens, you know who's available. You know who's available and who is no longer under contract. You don't know that right now. There are some surprises to be in the offing starting tomorrow in the portal, in an uncapped spring portal season where there are no limitations to the money that can be spent, or at least that's what it feels like, since we don't have any real framework that's been approved. Matt, I have no idea what to expect tomorrow. And truthfully, I don't think anybody does. I don't think the coaches have an expectation of what might start tomorrow. And if you're Sam Pittman, you've got a spring game to worry about. You've been in the middle of coaching spring practice. You've seen this crazy situation with Nico Iamaleava and his family. And I'm sure you know the family well because his brother is on your team. And this portal opens tomorrow, and you've got a team to coach, and maybe there have been some conversations with some players that are asking for more money right now, and maybe that's also what Comey Remfield is dealing with, the new general manager for Arkansas Athletics, and it just seems to happen so fast. But I don't know what to expect tomorrow, Matt. The only thing I do expect is that there are surprises of some names that go into the portal that I guess if that's the case, they didn't get what they were demanding.
How much do you think that Nico he's going to be a Tar Heel? That makes sense, right? Like when we're starting to think about it, maybe Belichick evaluated that quarterback and thought he had the best chance to win. You got to. I don't know what the evaluation process was, but maybe that's kind of his guy he wanted.
Well, I didn't Pete Nakos, the On3 reporter who had kind of, I don't know if you say broke the story about Iamaleava going into the portal, but he was the first to, I think, kind of report on it. So, yes, he did break it. I think he broke that that's not going to happen. Because it all happened yesterday. He's going to be a favorite to land at North Carolina.
Oh, now it's not going to happen. Not. Okay. See, I was still under that impression. So we don't know where he's going to go.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Well, don't you think
anybody in the Arkansas team you think that we're kind of counting on jumps in? You think we'll be surprised like that?
That's what I'm saying. Like I have no, I do not know. I have no like inside information on this guy's going to go to the portal, that guy's going to whatever it is. But don't you feel like if there are players out there, if there are people out there, and it's not just the players because it's the people that are behind them, supposedly that they think are in their corner, helping them make these decisions. And sometimes you don't always get good advice from the people that tell you you're in your corner. They may be doing things behind the scenes that, right now the player, the student athlete himself is just worried about practice until he's told not to go to practice. Like, as I understand what happened with Nico Iamaleava last Friday. He's essentially told, don't go to practice. This is the moment we've been waiting for. This is when we have our leverage and you don't go to practice. And man, there's got to be somebody out there where they know this is when the iron is hottest in terms of making the most money you possibly can right now, while you have an uncapped portal season and no groundwork and no real rules that are to be followed. That's the thing about this portal season compared to any other. Is in previously you weren't. NIL was somewhat regulated. And in the future, this whole thing is going to be regulated, or at least we think it's going to be.
Maximum. What do you think? It's just one 14-day window a year for football, one 14-day window a year. I mean, you don't need more than 2 weeks of this because I think that's about maximum. Wherever you want to place it, if you want to place it right after the end of the season, or if you want to place it right after the end of spring ball, but just 10 days, 14. I don't think you need much more than that.
The problem is that with it's all a matter of when does the season start. Like for a professional sport, when does the contract
if your coach gets
begin?
fired, there's another. Then everybody gets to jump in if your coach gets fired.
Well, if there's a contract involved in something, it's for a defined period of time. And what is the defined period of time of what defines an athletic calendar in college sports compared to professional sports, in which you're just held to the months of the season in which you're playing, and then the labor that you have negotiated about how you do free agency and trades and all that kind of stuff. The athletic calendar in college sports still remains July to July. And that's why you can have this football portal season right now before the football season actually starts. So it's like, when does the season begin, Matt? Because in the NFL, this is a whole defined thing. There's one free agency period. It begins, and I guess it doesn't necessarily ever end. It's just if you're not signed, eventually at some point you can pull a Joe Flacco from a couple years ago. But because college sports continue to be attached to colleges, it goes along the academic calendar. That to me is the only reason why you're able to do this. It still doesn't make sense to me, though.
Yeah, I mean, NFL, the season starts in spring because your final cuts is in August. So that's when the roster balloons up and you're starting there. That's when it starts around, March. That's April. That's when you would say the season starts in the NFL. I don't know when you'd say it starts. See, to me, I mean, you get on campus early. How many of these kids go a semester early? For me, so when I was in high school, going in about to be a freshman, we came up for summer workouts. Yeah. The mandatory voluntary summer workouts. We came up to do that. So that's when it started. It would start in the summer.
But now with so many
they don't care about the school part though. I thought that's what we've already.
they don't care about it, but it's still attached to the school. So that's still a part of it. Whether the athletes care about it or not, it's still going to be a part of it. But what the difference is from when you were reporting as a freshman, because if you're a freshman now, Matt, you went in January. You didn't go to your prom. Maybe you did. Maybe you would have gone as a student at Arkansas, not at Fort Smith Northside. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing is now the season begins in January, after your bowl, after the winter portal is done, and the roster is set for spring. That's when the season should really start.
Well, that's when it starts for everybody else that's not an incoming freshman, because the next year, it's the same time it would start. That's the same timeline as far as NFL. So that's when you should do the portal. Is that it should be a one-time portal thing.
So then look at the NFL. You've got your mini camps. You've got your organized activities, OTAs that all occur before training camp begins. Which is, it's the same idea as spring ball, just it happens at different times, and it's not as condensed. But if you're spring ball is so important for the idea of installation and chemistry and on-field chemistry and knowledge of the playbook and all of that. But Matt, do you win your position in the spring or in the fall? And can you have a bad spring and still end up winning a position in the fall? Because it seems that the decision here is, well, if I don't think I'm going to get enough playing time, or I don't win a position in the spring, well, now I've got a chance to just get into the portal. And, oh, by the way, then I can just automatically make a team and win a job in the fall, which also is a fallacy because in this sport, I don't know if it works that easily.
It's a lot of bad advice.
Certainly seems like it. Continuity seems to help out.
A lot of bad advice. A lot of people think the grass is greener on the other side. It's a real, man, it's funny. People are funny.
Wild out there on the frontier. It's an amazing time to be a college athlete. And tomorrow, the frontier is wilder than it's ever been. Halftime on a Tuesday has Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio at 1:15. Alyssa Orange joining us in about an hour from right now. And it's you and us for hour number one. So the Lewis Automotive Group hotline open all throughout this first hour. You can call or text at 877-377-6963. More halftime in just a moment.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, the saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit in a hat trick.
Introducing the Azalea
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit in a hat trick.
Built for comfort.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets.
Check out our
Original
latest
beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, no. So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit in a hat tricks. Just that classic rap shit.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Well, you got me floating around and round. Always up, you never let me down. The amazing thing, you turn on naturally. When I can see when I see. Hey, just feel it. Naturally.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, how much money did the Mets spend on Juan Soto? $765 million. And it's, I don't remember how many games they've played now. The season's like a little more than 2 weeks in. And he's complaining about being pitched too differently because he doesn't have Aaron Judge hitting behind him. This is part of the cautionary tale of free agency and a transfer portal as well. The whole point, Matt, of what you say is the grass is not always greener on the other side. And who knows what's going to happen with Juan Soto and the Mets throughout this contract that he signed. Maybe they win 2 or 3 or 4 World Series. Maybe he gets traded next year because it doesn't work out. But here's somebody that had it incredibly well in a ballpark that was built for kind of for his style of hitting at Yankee Stadium, with a guy hitting behind him that's going to go to the Hall of Fame, and Aaron Judge, that you do get pitched to differently because you have that guy hitting behind you. Well, you end up taking the money, the bigger contract offer by a lot, and it's kind of shocking to hear that kind of honesty, like 20 games into a contract that's worth $765 million, and everybody can look at this and say, well, you made the decision to leave the Aaron Judge lineup where you were hitting right in front of him. anybody that is going to go into a transfer portal right now, are they thinking about that, Matt? Don't you have to think about that? If you're a quarterback that's trying to make a huge splash in the portal and get yours, the place that maybe has the money to give you what you view as yours, you may be walking into a trap, into a self-made trap, into a disaster. Who knows what you're walking into in some of those cases?
You know, Riley Leonard kind of pulled it off last year. I don't know that he was a sought-after as guy, but he's a guy that got into the portal. I wonder what time he got into the portal. He had a lot of success, so I don't know what these kids are thinking.
But it also works out in some cases. Look at what worked out for Quinshon Judkins, didn't it? I mean, he went where the grass was greener.
Greenwood is going to get drafted in the same slot no matter what college team he played for. That's the same with Chris Pupal. Some of these kids, it's not going to change where they get drafted. It's not Judkins still is going to get drafted in the exact same slot if he would have stayed at Ole Miss.
But he wouldn't have won a national title though.
He would not have. But that's the truth. That's the facts of it.
And you get a program there that's got plenty of money to throw at somebody if they need to. Just kind of wonder, who walks away from a national championship program then in the middle of spring football. Like that's the thing I'd be looking at. Who's walking away from Ohio State at this point of the season? They've got the kind of war chest to keep who they want, or at least you would think they do. Like, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in terms of who might walk in for Arkansas. I know the kind of positions that they have need in. They need defensive backs. They need defensive linemen. What if you end up? What if one of these wide receivers that you're really high on, Omega Blake, Ismail Sisha. What if one of them right now is holding? I have no knowledge about these kids as to what their makeup is or what. I'm just saying these players. We already saw the situation with Braylon Russell in December. That appears to be cleaned up. But to me, it feels like, I don't know if Tennessee was necessarily caught off guard by Nico Iamaleava making these demands, because I think they were making demands from the moment the regular season ended before their playoff game, and then even while the portal was open in winter. So I think it just happened to be a matter of when this was going to happen with them. But somebody's going to get caught off guard by somebody heading into the portal sometime soon. And I guess you strike while the iron's hot, because you only have so much earning potential or time to earn your most. And now is the time. 877-377-6963 calls and texts coming in on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Otherwise, in terms of like the spring game, you say, well, what do you want to see? I don't know how much you're actually going to be able to see. Saturday looks terrible in terms of weather, like thunderstorms, rain all throughout the day. I know there have been some spring games where they had to move it indoors, and I hope you don't have to do something like that, because I guess it's supposed to be some kind of a showcase. But do they really want to show? Do you really want to show much of what you got? Like, show off? Not in the middle of the portal season. Well, this week leading into a spring game. What is it that you're looking, that you'd be interested in looking at if you were watching this Saturday game, Matt?
The quarterback's footwork. Is Braylon Russell in shape? How are they? Are they picking each other up when they get knocked down? Kind of just their
body language there.
The way they are as teammates. The way you want to see them compete. You want to see them fly around with a smile on their face, like you want to see him a bunch of Andrew Armstrongs out there. He played with a smile on his face. He was such a joy to watch. You want to see some progression. You want to see can the tackles make a pocket? Can Taylor Green make plays in the pocket? How are the receivers get open? So there's a couple things you want to see.
Are there some things that you can kind of tell if there's chemistry between a receiver and a quarterback in something that is a spring game that's not necessarily
I don't
a game
know how
itself?
I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'd have to see the format and see how they're all a little different. So,
and then the other thing I always wonder too is you can see this great performance by one side of the ball and wonder if it has something to do with deficiencies on the other side of the ball. And from everything you're hearing, there's deficiencies in terms of depth, up front defensively and in the back defensively. And I just kind of wonder if some of the performances that you may see are just the things you hear from the last scrimmage. C.J. Brown goes off, has a couple of touchdowns. And I think C.J. Brown's amazingly talented. I just never know what to. You want to get your eyes on it, and I guess you'd have a real sense of what looks like the proper athleticism. But just hearing reports, sometimes I take those things in a little bit of a grain of salt. But it doesn't sound like Saturday is like very promising for some big enjoyable day at Razorback Stadium just for weather-wise. Otherwise, I mean, it'd be kind of fun to at least get out there. It's always free, never charge, and just kind of sit there and enjoy watching something like football. Did it always feel like football at a spring game, or was it just like it couldn't have felt like a game.
We did it totally different. We hit, we tackled, we played. Yeah, it was live. We did live stuff. I don't think it's the whole thing's changed.
So it really felt like a game.
We were hitting, man. It was real. We were calling plays. I mean, it's always a scrimmage. But it's real. Yeah, you're going. It's full speed. We're hitting. We're tackling,
and keeping score.
There is a point system. I think my senior year going in there, we kind of drafted teams and did a mix of ones versus twos because we weren't we weren't as good as the last couple of years. Had a lot of new starting spots. So there's just different ways you go about it. And then the year before that, it was a totally different thing because you knew all the starting spots were pretty much locked in. And so, yeah, there's different ways to go about it.
So then when it concludes, when the game's over and spring ball's over, what happens next in terms of team activity? Or do you just kind of disperse and you head to class?
Summer school starts and you start working out 4 times a week. Yeah.
The countdown really begins then, right?
I don't know, man. 99% of our players all stayed up there and worked out. You'd have times you can go, you'd have a 2-week window off where you can go, like if you want to do some type of summer vacation. But for the most part, 99% of our players were up there and we worked out and went to school.
And got closer, I would imagine.
That's all you have $20 in your pocket and you got a PlayStation. What are you, these kids today, you think about, you had all your meals paid for, you get free shoes, free clothes, you get all the things you want. You had everything you need. They still do have everything they need, but it's still not enough.
Well, it's not $20 in the pocket. The guess would be you get $20,000 in your pocket and you own the company that's making video games, or at least trying to own a company that's going to make video games for your Xbox too. Things have changed a little bit. They just added a few zeros on the end of what's in the pocket.
It's the best time in the world to be a college athlete.
That's just a guess, by the way. It's I wouldn't even call it an educated guess. We all throw guesses out there as to what the student athletes are making, and they're just guesses. Nothing's public, nothing's true information on that just yet. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Quick break. We got callers on hold, texts to get through, and halftime continues after this.
Connor, all I'll say is truck yeah.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalties. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more. Call or text Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747. That's 479-274-1747. Pittman TRT, get back to feeling like your old self again.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Did not shoot the dead. Sheriff, I didn't shoot the dead. All around my home, they're trying to track me down. They say they want to bring me in guilt for the killing of a deputy, for the life of a deputy.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Arkansas UAPB baseball tonight, 6 o'clock, Ball Walker Stadium, $2 hot dogs, Jackie Robinson Day as well. Ty asked me how many $2 hot dogs I could eat during commercial break. You can't do that because you don't want to be belching in the middle of a radio broadcast. Oh, Bubba will eat the Sonic burgers during the game. That's fine. I do a little bit more of the talking.
And you don't have much time to go to the bathroom.
There's 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Even if you ask for an extra 30, that's 90 seconds. And the bathroom at Balm, you kind of have to, well, you share with other people up there, not just media members. So how many $2 hot dogs could you eat? Now, Matt, there's two questions that go along with it. How many could you eat, and would you even want to try?
You just got to tell me what age I am. You know, if I'm 16 years old, yeah. No, I don't really eat hot dog. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't eat a hot dog, you know, but like, I don't know. You know,
You're not going to make a contest.
not
out
really
of it.
trying to eat a hot dog, especially a $2 hot dog. What's that's how bad that is for your gut. Like that's not good for you.
Well, you can do one of them. But the thing is, when it's two, everybody's going up there figuring, well, today I'll gorge myself. Let's go to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. C in Lavaca is here. C usually would be a Cody. We knew a Cody in Lavaca. Hey, what's up? C?
No, it's not Cody.
Okay, this is C though. We'll just let you go with the first initial then. What's up?
Hey, I got a question about the Maliavo thing. About if it's more directed, I guess, towards Matt, but if he would not be a cancer going to another team, that the me instead of the I and not the team. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, that's a hard conversation you have to have because you want to trust some people. You know, it's a game based on relationship. So, you know, you're going to call Josh Heupel, but you're still in his player. What's Josh Heupel going to say about him? You know, who do you know? Are you taking a chance that maybe he'll change? You know, have you liked what you saw on film? So obviously somebody's has. I mean, somebody's going to overpay for him. I think he's a very talented kid, but I think he's getting a little ahead of himself. I think year two, I mean, who wouldn't want Josh Heupel to be at Tennessee with him coaching you, man? I think he's one of the best quarterback coaches in the country.
Yes, he is. That was just my question about that. I just felt like because you being in the locker room, you would know if you have a guy coming in, if he was being a cancer or not.
You know how Taylor Green came in and how he's led the team. Isn't that kind of what that's like that you would want that format? That's how you would want to see somebody come in and be a leader and take charge, and his teammates absolutely love him.
So see, I think there's got to be a difference in someone's mind, and there is a difference in someone going into the transfer portal after their spring game, because this Tennessee just played their spring game Saturday, or skipping practice the day before the spring game to try to make a point.
Well, these kids, like what's the backup quarterback for Penn State quit right before because the portal opened and he had to get in it so quick. It just blows my mind that somebody would quit on their teammate, you know, and now Drew Aller didn't get hurt, but you're going to quit on and he wasn't the only one.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's all I was wanting to find out what your thoughts were on that.
Thank you, C. Appreciate that.
I don't understand a lot of it. I don't think they understand a lot of it. I think they're making it up as they go, and people are trying to navigate it. I'm telling you, I would have no more than a 2-week portal window, and whatever time you want to put it in. If you want to put it in June, if you want to put it in after the semester in December, January, whatever. But that would be it.
But then there's the other idea of being Nico Iamaleava's shoes.
I'm Olivia.
Yeah, right. I saw that one too. I'm gonna leave you.
Not going to work here very much longer.
There's an understanding about what you've done. If you just did it the way that it's understood is supposed to be done, you go into the transfer portal. Okay, this guy's in the portal. Oh my gosh, it's being announced. Nico's in the transfer portal. Nico's in the transfer portal. That's just somebody going into the portal. It's a big name that's going into the portal, but it's just a player going into the portal. This whole thing, the way this has been not presented, but the way that the Iamaleava camp went at it, that's where the egg is on the face, and it's on their faces. It's on the family's faces, and unfortunately for the player, it's on his face too. So then there's like an understanding. That's what I was getting at here. It's like, why would you're going to bring somebody in who intentionally skips the last practice before the spring game? You understand it's not playing Alabama. It's, it's not hosting Arkansas like they will this next October, but it's the biggest event they have in the spring. And you're going to take that moment to try to make the point of my money is more important than this practice. That's the whole thing. That's like, how does that look to another coach? That's the thing. I couldn't imagine that a Bill Belichick would welcome that in. But then again, I mean, he brought in malcontents from other teams in the NFL too. So who knows? He's all about winning. So if he thinks Iamaleava is going to help him win, he'd find a way to pay him then.
Well, my thing to what you're saying is I think the deal's already done. Wherever Nico's going, he did not have a deal already done before, and then just do that. Yeah, so there's already the spot. So Belichick would have already known. Now I would be like, let's keep it quiet. Go play in your spring game. Like I would totally just I wouldn't do any of that. I just go play in your spring game, keep it quiet, and then come on. But I think he already knows where he's going. How did all these kids from Arkansas already know they're going to Ole Miss? It was like that, and they're already there.
Well, they were there. That means there were conversations. Of course, there were conversations.
Absolutely.
Well, he was his family had contacted about 5 or 6 other schools during the winter portal, or probably even before the winter portal. I mean, there was reports. Josh Pate's talking about it. I know Ty brought it up on the Morning Rush that he nearly sat out of their playoff game because of demanding more money. And that's another thing I wonder is what's going on with paying the players. It's like you're supposed to be paid. It's a game check, right? It's an individual game check. You know what you make per game. I guess playoffs is different in the NFL, but it's all standard. So now you got to go back and renegotiate your playoff money. This is not the way that a well-run system works. And it's because it's not even a system that's run. Literally, nothing's in charge here at all. Man, I can't wait for this. It's going to be absolute disaster. All right, so I'll tell you where Nico Iamaleava is not signing. Anywhere in the SEC. As I learned this the other day, spring portal, you can't transfer within the SEC. So he's not You don't have to worry about Lane Kiffin poaching any Razorbacks in the spring.
He's already took our bet. He
can't take any more.
We've already pulled over. You can't pull over any farther.
Wait until the Hogs play them again this next year, and then whoever looks best on the field, I'm sure he'll go after for the winter portal season. He won't be playing for any SEC team, and he won't be an Oregon Duck. It's about as far as I know. And I guess not a North Carolina Tar Heel because Pete Nako says
he won't be a Penn
State
Nittany Lion. Drew Aller's
what about
there.
a USC Trojan?
Man, they're not going to be. You think USC? You think he gets them? You think USC gets back to winning 9-10 games this next year?
Yeah, if they got him, that would help.
What about Ohio State? That's who I wonder who their quarterback is, because who's a lot like Will Howard, and I think it's a guy that's unproven that's at Ohio State, but I don't know, maybe. But that would be a place that, a Chip Kelly offense with Nico, like that type of style, that's like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Think about these two quarterbacks, Phil. I know you watched the national championship game. Unit, I know you did too. What did you notice more than anything in the national championship? Those quarterbacks run more. They start running more. They just like they're waiting all year, and they start running. I mean, that first 2 series, Riley Leonard looked like Eddie George out there.
I know Taylor Green can run.
Absolutely. And when it gets down to it and you're playing a championship game, that's when you want them running 15 times. When you're playing non-conference games, you don't want them running more than 5. You don't want them getting hit, but that's what that's the quarterbacks aren't like running backs. They can't take all those hits.
And I also want to see that he can, find a way to complete a pass in week 2 of the season, that doesn't go to your favorite target.
Well, if he can get
I don't even know who the favorite target is now.
Right? If he can get some protection, that's what you really want to see. You talked about what do you want to see in spring game, and the coach, how are our bookends? Are our tackles? Can their feet move? Can we give them something? Because I think we're going to see a massive improvement with Taylor Green being in a whole nother year. Because he came last year. It's so hard to learn a system, to learn everybody, and now he's going to be. When we're seeing that with the shortstop. For the Razorback baseball team right now. He was amazing last year. He's just turned it up to 11 this year. I think Taylor Green would do that as well.
Well, could not having an Andrew Armstrong, or at least somebody that's a crutch, because it felt like Armstrong was a crutch for him sometimes.
No, you want the best players you can get. It's you want it. Andrew was a G, man. He's an all SEC. You would take Andrew Armstrong back right now.
No, I don't mean not having him. I just mean for in Green's mind, because it just always seemed he would lock in on him. Understanding he was the best receiver on the field, but just.
Maybe you don't do that progression. Yeah. You don't do some of that, and you're kind of. It doesn't mean you don't know how to do it. It just means you trust him a little bit, but you want to see him. You want to see him do that a little bit more. Yeah.
mean, you'd be watching the receivers
What's the
probably more than
reports?
anything in this spring game.
I want to see the kid from Pine Bluff that went to Missouri.
Crutchfield.
I want to see him play because I think he's going to be a star.
Sam certainly thinks he can help out pretty quickly, at least from what he said. Sounded like it. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, what did he play in a couple games at Missouri?
I think I asked Bill King, and he said he didn't remember seeing him play. You know, so I don't know how much he played last year.
Who's your number one? Who are your dudes as far as receivers go? You knew who they were going to be this last year coming in because you had your two main guys return.
Is it better to not have like a number one and just everybody kind of be that same?
Well, that was my question. And that's right. I mean, if you're able to have somebody like an Armstrong on your team, you want him. You want that guy. I just wondered if it just meant that, and to his point, there was a trust factor there that I don't know if Talon had with anybody else. But then it's also like you look at the measurables from Isaac Tesla from the combine, and you wonder, it's like, did he really not get open as much as everybody thought he didn't?
Or could we not keep Talon Green off his back?
Well,
how many times could he go? Because I think we remember seeing that one of these games, and Pittman even said it. He's like, man, there was a couple plays we had called for certain players, and for whatever reason, something in the protection would break down. And you know what Talon Green does then? He uses his God-given natural ability, and he gets out of harm's way.
877-377-6963, the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Let's break, back to take a call, wrap up our first hour right after this.
If you see a possum, try to kill it. It's not a pet.
This is Halftime. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, as saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit in a hat trick.
Introducing the Azalea
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit in a hat trick.
Built for comfort.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats from real live MCs. Playground tactics. So let's take it back to the concrete streets. Original beats from real live MCs. Playground tactics. A rabbit and a hat tricks. Just that classic rap shit.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, the saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving North.
Used to be.
Used to be. But if I ever get right, I could be turned back real quick.
Wouldn't take much convincing, would it?
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir. Hey, Phil, I want to try to hook up with you this weekend because I'm going to be up there all weekend for the A&M series. And I got you something I got to give to you.
Oh, boy. Don't tell me what it is. I like surprises. Just like tomorrow when the football portal opens, there's going to be surprises.
Is that? I don't know why I thought the football portal opened Sunday. I guess because it was our last day of spring practice.
Let's double check on this here. No, it is tomorrow. I remember looking it up yesterday. I just had to double check. Okay. It is tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. It is open April 16th through the 25th.
Do you think we'll have anybody hit it tomorrow?
I mean, yes, just because I don't know. I have no idea what to expect. I shouldn't even say yes. I don't know what to expect from this tomorrow. I don't think anybody does. I just know this portal will be different than any other because it's uncapped. There are no rules right now. We have no settlement from the courts on antitrust. There are no regulations. So it feels like it's finally unfettered free agency is actually here.
Phil, have they announced who are going to be our pitchers for the Razorbacks Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
See, they got to get this game underway first tonight. They won't do the pitching rotation for a weekend while they got another opponent in front of them. So I'm sure that will be a question Dave gets asked after the UAPB game.
Who's your favorite pitch? Your favorite one or two pitchers right now, Brent?
My favorite.
Yeah, who do you? Because you.
Pitchers. I like Jimenez. Coming out of the pen. I wouldn't be opposed to starting him, but I don't know if his arm is up to that yet. Coming off of Tommy John and Zach Root.
There we go. I was just wondering because you ask a lot, questions about pitchers, and it gets me thinking a little bit too. And I always kind of wonder who some of the fans are, because we always kind of have our favorite. Not that we don't like all of them, but you always kind of have your favorites. So yeah, thank you.
Hey, Matt, what is the week like? I just want your experience. What is the week coming up to the draft like?
It's the calm before the storm. The last right before the draft, it's real quiet. Just kind of, I was just hanging out with my folks. Like there wasn't much, maybe working out a little bit, fishing, golfing, kind of just it's the calm before the storm.
So all your workouts with teams are probably done.
100%. Mine were 100. Yes, sir. 100%.
At this point, you've had the conversations, you've had all the meetings, you've run all the tests. The hay's in the barn, so to speak.
It's your last week off before next year. About when the playoffs are over, it's your absolute last week off before, because once you get drafted and go there, I mean you don't have a single day off until, and you might get one day off in there, but you really aren't taking any day. You're just recovering.
Yeah, at that point, it's like you're in pain. Today, you won't be in much pain the week of the draft.
Did you have an idea of who would draft you?
A little bit. Yeah, you kind of have about 2 or 3. You kind of know where you're going to go a little bit. Yeah.
Heart pounding until it actually happens, I think.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely. You just want to go do anything else. You're just like, well, I don't want to sit here and watch it. Yeah, let's go do anything. To get your mind, you don't want to sit there and think about it.
Why is my skin crawling and I don't see any ants on me?
And who are all these people? Why? Who are all these people?
Appreciate you, Brent. Always good to hear from you. You can get with us. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open 877-377-6963. We're going to go stuff our face with some Coconut Crunch donuts and be right back in a moment on Halftime.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsman's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Aline Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google or Yahoo it or Bing it. Jasco Graphic Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny, it'll be a cooler go of it, a high in the middle to upper 60s. We're nights and clear tonight, and overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Wednesday, chance of a few showers early, otherwise sunny skies. Our high temperatures on Wednesday in the low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. Paris Fort Smith, you're listening to ESPN 95.3.
It depends on where you're, by the way. Very professional time.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they but one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on halftime. Moving into our second hour on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing here. Alyssa Orange coming up in about 15 minutes, so you want to get with us. Now can be the time. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I got to remember to text with Brent later on today so that we can try to coordinate a meeting sometime this weekend at Baum Walker. But he left me with a bit of a cliffhanger there, guys. He says he's got something for me. What could this be? Who knows? Who knows? Somebody once walked up on a live show that Matt and I did together, and handed him a shiv made out of shark tooth.
It's in the work truck right now.
You do travel with that, so you do not
everywhere I go.
Don't mess with this guy if you see him around town.
I appreciate that gift, by the way. We were at was that Yellville? Was that
that was it? It was the grocery.
Yeah,
Allen's Grocery.
Allen's Groceries, where that was.
They make beautiful steaks, and I mean that was a really fun trip.
There was like some gumbo over there. We ate so much.
Yeah. We had a guy with I think he had a brand name of some seasoning that we couldn't say. We could not say on the radio. We get in trouble for it. It was fun. It's the perfect kind of setting to be handed a shark tooth shiv sitting next to me. So that you had no idea he was coming up to give you that thing.
He was your buddy that took us. We hung out with the night before when we were.
I have no idea what Brent's gonna have for me.
The guy, the fishing guide. They were buddies. Yeah, he's like you because we went out to eat with the guy that took you and Gabe fishing.
I've been handed some very weird things throughout my career just because somebody heard me say something about it on the radio. You know, there was working in the California League 26 years ago. There was a bunch of spider webs on the ceiling in the booth in Bakersfield, California. So the next thing we get home, and I didn't remember what I was talking about. This guy just walks by the booth and tosses me some stuffed animal that's a giant spider. He didn't say who he was. He didn't say why he gave it to me until the next week. What just happened? Now, when somebody used to bring in the bags of peanut M&Ms, like the 2 or 3 or 4 pound bags of peanut M&Ms when I did the whole M&M thing, yeah, that I kind of appreciated because it was a little inside running joke for all of us. But as far as Brent's concerned, I don't know I tell you what he's going to give me. It's donuts. Because that's our inside joke with Brent. That's the only thing I could think he would be giving me at all. I can also appreciate a text here. I love this kind of stuff. Jesse in Springdale. Isaiah Joe recently surpassed Michael Jordan in career three-pointers made.
That's a North Side kid, man. That's River Valley, yeah.
I don't care what statistic it is that you surpass Michael Jordan in. If you do it, whatever statistic it is, that's is something you want to know about. Yeah, 584 career three-pointers, and Isaiah's just completed his 5th year. Michael Jordan made 581 career three-pointers in 15 regular seasons.
I don't think Larry Bird's even in the top 20 in NBA three-pointers made anymore. And
Game has changed.
And yeah, that's what I mean. So if Larry, people sleep on Larry Bird, man. He his bad back, and you remember his last, at the Dream Team, he wasn't the same. But you go back in the 80s, man. I think Larry Bird could very easily be on some of these all-time top 5 teams that nobody puts him on. Today's game. Man, Larry, and he had unlimited range. Oh my goodness.
Well, but he was associated with the 3 because
he was the best at it. It just wasn't the game.
We
were going into McHale. We were going into Parrish. We were shooting mid-range jump shots. We were there was just a different, and they'd still score 126 points. It wasn't like there was a lack of scoring. It was just a little bit of a different.
But the 3-point game, as good of a shooter as Michael was, and he would hit the 3. It's just he's not on any list in terms of career. At some point, if Isaiah Joe continues on the track he is, he may end up on some lists for career made 3-pointers. I mean, that's a skill that I wouldn't say it necessarily always goes away as you get older. But it's in his 5th year, and Michael Jordan again. What did he make? He made 3 fewer than Isaiah Joe in about 10 fewer years. About 10 more years.
So Curry probably has like 10 times that. If I had to guess,
Curry is the all-time leader. He's surpassed everybody. So if it was Reggie Miller, I think Klay Thompson's up there. Dame Lillard's going to miss the start of the playoffs, but Dame Lillard on his trajectory, he'll be a top 3. When he retires, he'll be like top 3 in the NBA in 3-pointers made.
All right. Well, all right. Current, it's Steph Curry. This can't be the right number. That has to be the number of shots he's tried. 4,058. I don't think he's made that many. Sometimes I wonder on what it is that you click. 3-point field goals. There it is. 4,058. That has to be the attempts. Because the game's changed, but it's not changed quite that much. Charlie's here with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Charlie, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. I was just thinking about, you guys are talking about like generational talents, which I think that I enjoyed talking about. Matt, I was going to ask you though, you think about Steph and kind of the way let's be honest, he's changed the game, him and Clay, but just Steph off the dribble, some of the shots he's made throughout his career. If there was not a Steph Curry, do you think the game, if we're speaking high, but would it still be played the way it is now with all the pace, all the 3-point shots? Because I think Steph literally almost single-handedly changed the game. What do you think about that?
Well, you had, Paul Westphal when he had Loyola Marymount, and then, came into the Suns. They're up and down. Jack Ramsey up and down. Mike D'Antoni, just going. So there's a lot of those coaches, I think, before. I think the Rockets are kind of credited with kind of having this 3-point barrage, and then the Warriors just did it the best when you had 2 of the best. So the game does ebb and flow. I don't know how good it is for the game. Sometimes it's hard to watch them shoot 42-3. They go up and it's bad basketball, but
it is 5 foot. By the way, it is 4,058. That's the number Curry's made. That's not the attempts. So pretty amazing. And think of the reasons why that becomes such a big aspect of the game. It's like, you think of baseball too. What's the most, what can't you defend? You can't defend a home run. So everybody tries to hit home runs. What is the most difficult thing to defend in the NBA? Well, it'd be a dunk, but outside of that, it's tough to defend long-range shooting from way outside. So then you find a way to specialize in that, and that's become the specialty. There are reasons why these happen, and I think it has a lot to do with what's difficult to defend.
Yeah, I agree with that too, but I think Steph's being so small, Phil, not being able to play above the rim, and those type of things. And this guy's to shoot off the dribble and the contested threes that he's made over it. I wonder. I'm sure, even though with all those makes and then his attempt, he's also a high percentage shooter. Even though he shoots a lot of them, he shoots a high percentage. I want to say it's in the high 30s or low 40s throughout his career. So that's insane as well. So
If I told you
Matt,
Larry Bird made 781 3-pointers in his entire career, would you say that's truth or false? Remember, Jordan made 500, and he's not considered a 3-point shooter.
I would say, didn't they? Okay, the only thing I could think of, the three wasn't around when Larry.
No, it was.
When did the 3-point?
70s.
When did the 3-point? Okay. Yeah, the thing is, like, I would say
it's just it was a novelty, and it was it was resisted for that's going to be part of our strategy.
One of the reasons why I would say it was false because I think Larry was he was what 6'9", 6'10", Matt. He could, get his way, and he was such a good passer. I'll go back and watch highlights of him creating for his teammates. I thought, yeah, we're dumping it down to Mikal, but man, this guy was like, think about Luka and the slower paced game, but like his ability to make like these crazy behind the back, over the head, one hand passes is like insane to me. He is really slept on. His game, he's one of the best ever. I don't care what anybody says. Before I go, Phil, I wanted to comment on what Brent probably is going to bring you. You said donuts. I'm gonna go along the line and say it's probably got something to do with baseball. But I will say this: I've decided that if you guys ever come near South Arkansas, the tuna's going to sneak up onto the radio show out of nowhere and just give you guys this big hug. So you guys just better watch out if that ever happens. You got to set this up. Get them somewhere near South Arkansas because the tuna wants to meet these guys in person. Y'all have a good one.
We might need our own security detail if we end up near South Arkansas. We'll give the hug right back to you. Of course, tuna.
A tuna hug. Come on.
All right, but here's the thing about Isaiah Joe. All right, Isaiah Joe is shooting 40.2% from the 3-point line in his career. Michael Jordan was a 327 career 3-point shooter. Larry Bird connected on about 37.5% of every 3-point shot he took. Admittedly, that's over 13 years. MJ 15 years. This was just 5 years for Isaiah Joe, but and it's also known like that's Isaiah's specialty, and he's still able to knock it down at past 40%. He's never shot any worse from the 3-point line than 33% in the last 3 years. I mean, he's like a 415 shooter.
Yeah, he plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder, which has a lot of talent. And just like your boy Juan Soto said, they're going to play different to me if I get away from Aaron Judge. Isaiah Joe goes somewhere and tries to be an A player.
Sure.
This won't be the same. I don't know. Players want to play with good players, and I think Isaiah Joe's in a great spot to have continued success is what I'm saying.
And I bet you he knows that too.
Man, I'd be at Oklahoma. I think they have something special. Why would you want to leave the OKC right now?
I got to leave this segment because Alyssa Orange will join us in just a minute. Stay with us. Halftime continues after this.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
No, I did not get anything done after the game yesterday.
That's perfect for you.
It wasn't bad.
I don't do well with that. Like when it's nice outside, hard to kind of be too relaxing inside, especially this time of year. I got to get outside.
I could not live.
I had to get outside.
I could not live.
Well, thankfully you don't.
Listen to the Chuck and Bo Show weekday mornings on ESPN Arkansas and on the Hit That Line app.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Keep your haymaking season rolling with big savings on New Holland hay tools at WT Equipment. Right now, choose 0% financing or cash back on select disc bind, disc mower conditioners, and roll belt rounders, and save thousands. You'll cut with more confidence, bale faster and tighter, and save for seasons to come. Ask about our industry-leading warranties, too. Hurry into WT Equipment for these ready-to-roll savings. Offer ends June 30th. Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio.
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Try to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please text H2H Mystery to 44834 or call us at 479-452-2260. Heart to Heart's Mystery at the Forest, April 26th.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Well, I knocked to a window to leave her a note. Will you come with me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That's the smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
The one and only Alyssa Orange with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline on a Tuesday afternoon, in which I just saw this, Alyssa. How did the bread pudding go last night?
Oh, it was so good. So I'm
pretty much obsessed with bread pudding to where, like, if it's on the menu, I will order it. And I am on a mission to, like, find the best bread pudding ever. And then I realized, like, I've never tried to make it. So I did it for the first time last night, and it turned out really well. I'd change a few things. I think it was, like, a little too eggy. So I'd use a few less eggs next time, but it was still delicious.
I like my bread pudding to be really soft in the middle, not too much sauce on it. I had the perfect one at this restaurant that I've really really love in Athens, Georgia, the other night after the game Saturday. Blueberry lemon bread pudding, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, no sauce whatsoever. It was absolutely perfect, Alyssa.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Oh, my gosh. So there's a restaurant in Omaha that has some of the best bread pudding I've ever had. And that's one of my favorite things when we go to Omaha is to go to the restaurant and get bread pudding. It's on the to-do list every single time we go.
Yeah. All right. So let's bring up Omaha. Let's get into college baseball here.
Perfect.
So to me, there's series losses, and then there's disastrous series losses, which this last one against Georgia was not. All it showed is that the team is human. They're not going to win every series, and maybe that's a good thing because the last Arkansas team that did
concept.
Exactly. But what do you glean from this last weekend against Georgia that maybe taking forward you'd like to see something improved upon?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I took away from the weekend at Georgia was, this team continues to still battle regardless of what's going on, and they're never out of a game. And for them to lose the way that they did in those games on Saturday and Sunday, just heartbreaking fashion on a check swing by Ryder Helfrich and then a walk-off home run in the 12th. I mean, heartbreak is going to happen like that in baseball, but they weren't blowouts. They weren't embarrassing losses. And there's a lot to take away from what you saw. Now, I think offensively, I know that Dave would love to see a little bit more consistency in the middle of that lineup, and I understand that. I think that's the biggest thing you take away is, can they just kind of get back to being consistent offensively? And then with the pitching, they're just going to have to answer some questions. I think that Dave's going to make some changes with Gabe Gackle on Saturdays. What kind of opportunities are other guys going to get? But with pitching right now, how can you kind of get a guy maybe out of the bullpen to step up in a starting role and make some adjustments that's going to find you success down the stretch? Because I think everyone knows, Phil, you look at this schedule, it's not going to get any easier with the series you have coming up here.
At what point in a season do you start to think this team now is what we've seen? And I remember the conversation in an opposite way last year where you just like, all right, sooner or later they're going to break out. Offensively, this team's going to start swinging the bat the way we thought they would, and it really never happened. And I remember thinking at about this point of the year when you've played 4 or 5 SEC weekends, you are now what you are, and that's kind of how you're going to win games. And for me, this team is what they are, really good.
Yeah. Yes, I think so. And that's where you have to be like, look, like you're going to lose baseball games in the season, and you're going to have a really tough series on the road, and Georgia's the best offensive team in the country, and they played Georgia really well because they are a very good team. And so we talk about this a lot with the basketball team, like don't hit panic yet. They've got a lot coming up, and I'm curious to see what they look like. But they're a team that can beat anybody on any weekend as long as things are going right for them. And even if things aren't going perfect, they can still win baseball games with their pitching and with their offense and their defense. And there's really not a weakness, right? Like there are going to be games where one isn't firing on all cylinders, but they don't have a weakness, which is what I think this team had last year when you talk about their offense. Like, I think we can look back and say this offense wasn't what we thought it was, and that really hurt them down the stretch because the pitching was able to carry them in games when their offense wasn't. And then when the pitching started to kind of fall off a little bit towards the end of the season, the offense wasn't there to bring them back into games. And so this team is really talented top to bottom. They haven't proven us wrong yet, Phil, and I think you're right. Like, this is what we're going to get, and this is a team that can beat anybody on any given day.
Hey, Alyssa, did you watch Sunday at the Masters where, Rory becomes the sixth player to win the Grand Slam? As young as he is, I think it solidifies Rory as being an all-time top 10 great, maybe even better when his career's done, but certainly puts him in the top 10 list ever to play the game. What were your thoughts, and what do you think it does for Rory's legacy?
That was pretty incredible, truly. I'm not going to say I called it because I didn't, but I think a lot of people going into the weekend really were rooting for Rory. And I've been a Rory McIlroy fan for a really long time. And to see him do that, I think all of us watching got emotional. Even if you weren't rooting for Rory, I mean, it was just beautiful and poetic. And, man, like you thought at one point he had it, and then he lost it, and then he had it again, and then had to play in the playoff. And there was just emotions all over the place. And I don't think you could have written it any better. Maybe he could have just won and made that putt at the end and not had to do a playoff hole. But it was one of the most emotional times I've had watching a sporting event in a really long time, because you just root for a guy like Rory, who's, one, just a phenomenal golfer and does things the right way, which, in golf is kind of the ultimate thing. You just go about your business in the right way. And then he's just a good guy to root for. So, I don't think that there shouldn't have been anyone watching the Masters upset with the way that it ended on Sunday.
You see that a lot of the photos that are being used by news organizations from the Masters were shot by Ken Griffey Jr.
How cool is that?
Like he's the one who got he got the shot of Rory on his knees and he's pounding the ground and he's crying. That's a Hall of Famer getting a shot of a Hall of Famer in his career-defining moment.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It was pretty incredible, man. I love that King Griffey Jr. is just like, I'm gonna throw a bib on and I'm gonna be a photographer. Like, he's one of us, guys. He's one of us. You gotta love it. And for him to get the press passes, to be filming Major League Baseball games, and to go to the Masters and do the state. I mean, it's so cool.
I love that the big unit. Of course he got in. Of course Randy Johnson got in. But you realize he's got an unnatural advantage over all the other photographers at every sporting event. If you're 6'10", I think you're going to get a really good perspective.
Yeah, that, and you're never going to get turned down for a credential request. like Ken Griffey's going to be able to film whatever he wants.
Yeah, there's that
no one's
too.
saying no to him.
Great when you're hot, when you're maybe as good as your hobby as you were in what you did for a living.
Right.
Portal opens tomorrow, Alyssa. I just have a sense, and the whole Nico Yamaliava thing just plays right into it, obviously, because now he's jumping into it. But that's the ugliest thing of this whole spring. What's happened? Nice cat in the background there, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in my garden, and this stray cat is just hanging out with me. But he's so sweet. I don't know where he came from, but he's very friendly.
He might need a home, or either that, or he's got some thoughts on the football portal. You want to ask him?
Yeah, maybe I will. Yeah, what do you think, buddy?
No, but I have a sense
the cute little black cat.
Nobody knows what to expect tomorrow because we don't have any rules. There's no regulations. The House settlement hasn't been approved, and I don't know if it's going to be approved anytime soon. It sounded like maybe at some point, but that's this portal is open for, I think, 9 or 10 days, and who knows if it's even approved by then. And if it is, does that mean automatically then just the rules go in place? So for me, this portal season right now, this one will stand alone from all of the others just because it's uncapped. There aren't rules, and I feel like there will be surprises.
Yeah, it's the last one without rules is what we're anticipating, right? And so kind of it marks, okay, this was the end of the free-for-all, and then the next go-round it'll have some regulation. But it's just, it's so hard to wrap your head around fully everything that's going on because it's constantly feeling like it's changing. It's constantly like, oh, well, this is happening. There's no way it can get one up. And then, of course, we find out all the Nico stuff. And I just really don't know what to expect. And that's where we are right now with the way that college athletics is sitting. There are no rules. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes to guys deciding to leave. It could be something to where, after a conversation with a coach, they feel like they can have more success somewhere else, which is usually how it happened back in the day. It's, hey man, we love you, but we really think you could go somewhere else and have some more success. Or it's something where, oh, you don't want to pay me, or I'm going to hold out, and now I'm leaving. And it's really unprecedented. And I've kind of taken the stance, and I had for a while, of just stepping back and watching it all play out, because my opinion is going to change day to day. And it did when the portal opened for football in December, and it did when the portal opened for basketball last season in Cal. Like, my opinion changed every day because of everything that was happening, that it's really hard to form a opinion and stand by it from where I sit, because something else is going to happen that's going to change my mind or change my perspective, or I'll read something else and say, oh, okay, well, that makes sense in this situation, but it doesn't really make sense in this situation.
Hey, Alyssa, we're right up against it. Oh, please give him a scratch on the neck for us. And,
I will.
And
I will. He's sweet.
Any dead birds that are out there, immediately who caused that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Luckily, no dead birds right now.
They're out
No
there
dead birds
somewhere.
right now.
They are out there somewhere. Well, Alyssa, always appreciate you. Maybe see you at Balm tonight, okay?
Okay, I'd love to see you.
You got it. Yeah. Alyssa Orange with us here with an unplanned friend sitting out there in the garden. Aren't cats the number one reason that the birds die in the United States more than anything?
That's why my dog ate a dead bird the other day.
Yeah,
probably.
Let him lick you.
Ugh.
Don't lick me either.
He wouldn't let go of it. He just held it in his mouth.
I want to tell you about the great deals at H&S Appliance Outlet going on in Hot Springs right now. Since you are definitely thinking about cooking outdoors in this fabulous weather, Forno 4-piece outdoor kitchen gas grill. This is a gas grill with 4 burners, a rotisserie with infrared ceramic burners, and a side grill burner. Gas pizza oven, refrigerator, beverage center, and a sink all together, and it's only $3,999. They've taken $3,000 off the price at H&S Appliance Outlet in Hot Springs, and $39 today, you can take it home with approved financing. How about a gas-powered pizza oven? H&S Appliance Outlet has Unicota 12 gas-powered pizza ovens. These usually go for $399. Now they just go for $149, and a maximum 46-bottle stainless steel dual-zone cooling built-in door wine cooler usually goes for $699. Now it's only $499. At H&S Appliance Outlet in Hot Springs. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 8 to 5. Now stay with Halftime. We are back in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you want to win, you got to be like this. Tight.
This is Halftime.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hotline, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalties. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Money. Those other guys around. It's kind of funny, but they always seem to let you down. Nothing is correct. 'Cause I never see you anymore. And I need you. That's all I'm living.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
The Atlanta Braves have really not been very much fun for their fans to watch to begin the season here. But apparently there was something that was quite interesting to watch on the Braves telecast. I don't know if this was over the weekend or if this was last night. Would this have been in Toronto? The Braves played Toronto yesterday. This is at the Blue Jays Stadium, Rogers Center. Wiley Ballard is, I hate the word sidelines for baseball because there are no sidelines for baseball. They're dugouts and then they're in the stands.
Foul territory.
He's in the stands guy. And go ahead and play at C-Unit.
We're having a lot of fun up here up the Corona rooftop. Who do we got here? What's your name?
My name's Lauren.
Lawrence, all right.
And I'm Kayla.
Kayla, and you guys hang out at the rooftop lounge often?
Once a year I come out to visit.
Okay, well, we timed it pretty well. All right, good. How are you guys feeling about rooting for the Braves today?
Oof, I don't know. I'm hoping for the best.
What about you? Are you a Braves fan now?
Not quite.
Not quite. All right, I'm gonna go to work up here, guys. Good luck the rest of the way.
Okay, Wiley. Got 4 innings to get the numbers.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Get us some more Braves fans.
All right, so they want me to get your number.
They want you to get my
I'm dead serious. They're saying in my ear right now, she doesn't believe me because she thinks you guys are not. I'm making this up. Even if you guys weren't, I might use that in the future. That's actually a pretty good move. This is unbelievable.
So the best part of this right now is that Wiley could totally be faking it. This might be the new move. Just walk around with a FanDuel microphone and an earpiece in and convince fans that they're actually on TV.
I should have thought of this years ago. I am speechless. I got the number. We're good.
So the conversation going online about this is, and a lot of female sports reporters who work at games and have somewhat of the same job that Wiley Ballard has, feel there's a double standard going on here. And I think that there is, but I also think part of the double standard is because you listen to this, Wiley Ballard is doing what the broadcasters are asking him to do. It's a little bit on the two guys that are leading him into this. Now, did it sound like he was flirting a little bit? Yeah, but I don't think he was going to be getting phone numbers until they said something about it. I think the question would be, so Taylor McGregor does marquee sports. I highly doubt that the Cubs television announcers would ask her in a joking way to get the number of whomever it is that she's interviewing in the stands or in the dugout. I do think there's a double standard attached to this. I don't think Wiley Ballard did anything necessarily that's wrong. I just think he was led into something that I think the guys who led him into it, if they had another thought about it, would maybe think a little bit differently about it. Now, I do say this as somebody that has a little experience of getting a phone number at a baseball park before. 24 years ago, a little less than 24 years ago, it would have been the very end of the 2001 Travelers baseball season, and that's my first year calling the Travelers games. And I was looking through the stands with binoculars. Full disclosure, everybody in the press box at a football game and a baseball game has binoculars. And they will tell you that those binoculars are to get closer to the action in the field. And for the most part, that is correct. They are using it to watch the game closer, or at a baseball game to maybe get in on the pitcher-catcher conversation, the manager-umpire conversation, and see who's warming up in the bullpen, that kind of stuff. But then there are also inning breaks, and sometimes people will take advantage of that to check out people watching. It is a long time, truly honored tradition in human society. And that's also what happens with binoculars at sporting events. Even if you bring binoculars to watch a football game, I bet you're also just at least checking out who's around the stadium, what they may look like. So I did kind of check out this cute girl sitting in the stands behind the Travelers dugout, and she caught me looking at her, and I was incredibly embarrassed. It's not the first time that it happened by then, but it was the first time that she smiled at me, and 2 innings later, while we're playing eye tag, flashed her phone number from down in the stands up into the press box at Ray Winder Field. This phone number that eventually I did get around to calling, and I ended up marrying this girl. And we were married for 10 years, and we had 2 kids, and we've been divorced now for 8 or 9 years. So, it's not a cautionary tale. I'm just here to say love can be found at the baseball park, and I did find it while I was in the middle of broadcasting a Travelers game. Was that creepy? I don't think it was creepy. It was actually kind of a cute story.
Did you use the binoculars to get the phone number?
So there's more that goes with the story here, C-Unit. I was in such shock at what was going on that I wrote down the wrong number. It's the last home game of the regular season. 2 days later, I try to call the phone number, and it doesn't work. I thought she gave me a bunk number or something, right? Thankfully, the team made the playoffs. She shows up at the first home playoff game, and I see her there, and I ran down and got the real phone number, and then we ended up going on our first date like a week and a half later when the season ended. This was right after the terrorist attacks of 2001, and the rest is history.
Connor Stallions would have been proud right there.
Is that really what he was doing too? He was really just trying to find ways to impress women and get phone numbers at games.
That's I've definitely wrote my number down and handed it to somebody, and I don't think they called me back. So at least you had success right there. I did the whole strike it, but you gotta take a swing, right?
Well, but it was just there was a I think the word would be courage factor to do something like that. No, not me, her.
Yeah.
For her to do something like that, to literally be the person that is waving and getting the attention of the person up there, and then flashing the phone number and hoping that person was. Meanwhile, everybody else that's sitting around you is thinking, "What the hell is this chick doing here?" But that's different than it's that you hear this thing with Wiley Ballard, and it felt more like a bit than anything else. Is there going to be now? You got to follow. I saw him tweet from the scene from Good Will Hunting. I got her number. How do you like that? Them apples with the number up against the window.
But he didn't get it. Somebody else got it for him. That's kind of, it's like I swallowed a bug.
That's right. He had a wingman.
Yeah, wingmans make it.
He had a wingman through a microphone and a headset.
No, you struck out here. Drink up.
I met my wife through a wingman. Like it happens. But
you did too?
Yeah. I'm not friends with the guy now. Like we're not even close to friends now. But the reason, basically his perseverance. And
here's the thing. The thing's like if he would have gotten the phone, his job at this point is to be up in the stands talking with fans. I will put money on the thought that someone has been asked for a phone number by a reporter at a game off camera and nobody cares. When it happens on camera like this, then it comes off differently. Where you're thinking, well, this is a reporter. He's supposed to be on the field. He's supposed to be talking about the game. But what is he supposed to do up there in a crowd with two women that are by themselves? And then all of a sudden, the guys that are in the booth down there say, why don't you get their numbers? See what you can do. You got 4 innings to do it. No. Is he supposed to say no? I'll bet you there's a little bit of an intimidation factor that goes into it because there's a hierarchy here. The guys in the booth are higher on the hierarchy than the guy in the stands. So he'd have to be the courageous one and say no, and then end the weird bit, because then it just gets awkward. Maybe it didn't come off as awkward in the moment where they're actually doing it, but it was a little bit entertaining. Who knows? Love can be found at the ballpark, but not everybody's always going to have opinion about the love you find at the ballpark. 877-377-6963 for calls into. We had a coach with the Travelers who would he would write his phone number on the baseballs and toss them into the crowd.
But would he say nice catch? Because or would he say I hope you catch me because I just threw myself at you? Does he clever a little bit, or does he just write his number on?
It was just a phone number, and maybe just probably a little bit of the tobacco spit that was always coming down the side of his face. Those two things should end up going together, and one thing might not be so attractive either. Stay with us. Back to wrap up the second hour of halftime right after this break.
This is halftime.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, the saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Introducing the Azalea
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Built for comfort.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets.
Check out
Original
our
beats
latest
and real live MCs. Playground tactics. So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick. Just that classic rap shit.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25. Thanks for watching.
$5.99 small cheesy bread. We have pink panty droppers on special. We've got blow bombs on special, and it's all about ladies on a Wednesday here at Pop.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Korea, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
You need a friend. Don't look to a stranger. You know in the end, I'll always be there. When you're in doubt, and when you're in danger, take a look all around. I'll be there. But I still think that's the right promise. I know they don't sound the way I planned it to be. You wait around a while, wait for me, I'm promise. I promise you I'll when your day is through. And so if you're down, you know what to do. You'll always be there. Sometimes if I shout, it's not what's intended. These words should come out with no cross to bear.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I had to feel a little bit for J.D. Vance. You see the vice president drop the national championship trophy at Ohio State's
Anybody who
yesterday.
wears glitter and eyeshadow, eye makeup, really, we're going to hand him a trophy and think that he's going to, I mean, come on.
I didn't even, and I also learned that this trophy comes in two pieces. So it's not like it broke in his hands. It just kind of separated in his hands, and the bottom part of it fell out to the ground. And I think was it Travion Henderson that was standing next to him that rescued the second piece of the trophy. But you think of the moments where you're like holding something that's worth an incredible amount of money to whomever, and that's the one thing you don't want to do is drop this thing. And it's like for at our services, the Jewish services, sometimes you know one of the honors is to be able to go up and hold the Torah scroll, right? It's a revered thing and an honor to be able to do that at a synagogue. And I've had the chance to do it 4 or 5 times, even, you know, holding the Torah scroll and walking it around the sanctuary. And the only thing I can think of is, oh, please don't drop this thing. Don't drop this thing. Because if you do, I mean, there's a whole process you got to go through to make it, make it sacred once again. And I'd be nervous holding any trophy, the Lombardi trophy looks like it's really easy to hold. It's one piece. It's a very simple thing to look at, simple thing to hold. I wouldn't be nervous about dropping that. We've had how many different national championship trophies? The older one, you remember the older one, the one that used to be just the crystal football? That looked like it would be easy to hold too. It's even smaller than a regular football. Bet he could have held on to that one. Drop the national championship trophy. Well, I guess did Brady spike the Lombardi trophy into the Atlantic Ocean, into the Gulf? Or did he just kind of drop it when he tossed it from one boat to another when he won that last Super Bowl with Tampa? I seem to remember a video where he might have lost the Lombardi trophy in the Gulf. And I've heard some crazy stories of like celebrations with the Stanley Cup and team and backyard pools, and the Stanley Cup would be pretty easy to break. That's probably been broken quite a few times and added onto it a lot too.
Salt Bae, he's a famous chef.
Oh, I know him.
And see, there, of course, everybody does. But he got into some trouble on the World Cup. He started getting in on. He was down there when the team won and tried to go. You know, Messi wins his World Cup and he's trying to get a hold of the trophy, and it's a big no-no to be on the field to touch the trophy if you're not anything part of touch. But he got in some big trouble over that.
Salt Bae has a name, Nusret Gochi.
He's a little
he's Turkish Kurdish.
He's a little extreme. Like the way he goes about it, it's like, whoa, it's like putting on a show, I guess. I don't know. Would you like to try his food? Do you think he probably knows what he's doing? I couldn't afford his food is the whole thing.
I have no idea anything that he cooks. I just know that he's going to sprinkle the salt on in a very, very enticing way. He's a living meme, Matt. But don't get yourself in trouble in the world of soccer. Please don't. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, coming up in about 20 minutes. Wide open in the third hour. Otherwise, 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. And right back after this.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
It's Kubota Orange Days at Gray Brothers Equipment with interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months and reduced pricing on all Kubota inventory. It's time for your new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 6/30/25, see Gray Brothers Equipment or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Big changes are coming. In order to serve you better, Metters Lumber is joining Ace Hardware. We will remain locally and operated, but you can expect the same great service, but with lower pricing and better selection. We'll have exciting new brands to serve more of your needs. Come by and check out our deeply discounted merchandise as we make room for new products at Metters Lumber Company in Alma, Ozark in Clarksville.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
The hens are a yelping and the toms are a gobbling. That means it's time for turkey season. Strut on in to Jelco Outdoors for all your turkey hunting gear. The largest selection of mouth calls, friction calls, box calls, and locator calls in the area. Ammo with a large selection of TSS turkey loads. Plus a great selection of shotguns for youth and adults in 410, 20, and 12 gauge. Get ready for spring turkey season at Jelco Outdoors, home of the World Slam. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny. It'll be a cooler go of it. A high in the middle to upper 60s. We're nice and clear tonight. Overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Wednesday, chance of a few showers early. Otherwise, sunny skies. Our high temperatures on Wednesday in the low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Sportsman. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Can I go so we can get home by 2 o'clock?
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that could respect you. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they were one race back.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Here we get into the third hour of halftime. Welcome back in on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson. I'm standing next to Matt Jones in our studios, and Kristen Johnston, the C Unit producing. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, about 15 minutes from right now with the football portal opening tomorrow. It's funny, Bill used to do a commitments, and I think he still might do that when National Signing Day was just really a big thing because that's how you were building your program. He needs to maybe think of a different strategy. Maybe the day that the football portal opens would be the day to do it, or at least when you know exactly what your transfer class looks like, because it feels like that's how you may end up building a team. I don't know a lot of, like, Matt, you stayed at Arkansas for 4 years as a quarterback. I just wonder how many players at that position, and it used to be you're not going to be there for a fourth year. Well, it's because you went to the NFL a year early. The days of a 4-year quarterback at an institution, and maybe for any player staying at an institution for 4 years, are gone. But if I were to think of a sport where you need continuity more than any other, I would think it would be football. But I don't think that there will be many quarterbacks that stick around for 4 years at a program. Because if you were going to stick around at a program for 4 years, you might want to be at a place where Josh Heupel is your head coach.
That's not very. It's really uncommon. I think some daddies, some players, they get bad advice and think it's not about starting as a true freshman. Redshirt freshmen learn. It's about getting there and getting the reps and getting on at the right time. We live in this society where we want it now. You don't want to wait for anything. I like to, Tom Brady talks about his time. He was sixth person on the depth chart when he got to Michigan. It takes him a while. Peyton Manning redshirted his first year. It's like everybody doesn't just have to play as a true, but you get caught up in all this, or I want to play now, or I think I'm better than what I am, or somebody's telling me the wrong thing. It's hard. I coaching a lot of it is psychology. It's how do you talk to the players? How do you communicate to the players? How do you get them going? How do you get them feeling? But yeah, you don't know what's going on in the background. I like Bill Parcells, his top 10, commandments for a quarterback. And the first thing it's like, don't listen to anybody that's not in this meeting room. It's like, and so and it doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to people that you don't trust. And if your parents love you and trust you have that open conversation, but that's what he's saying is this outside noise about people always saying you're better than what you are. There's still work to be done. There's not 32 NFL quarterbacks.
Right.
There's not. I mean, I know they have them on the games, but you look at it and you say that's not what an NFL quarterback looks like.
Heck, just break it into college football. There's 16 teams in the SEC. Are there really 16 quarterbacks in the SEC that are good at what they do? No. I mean, there's a few teams out there that would love an upgraded quarterback. So you can even break it down to that level here. And I love the idea of what Parcells is saying there. Only listen to the people that are within this room. And I've always been told, you got to listen to people you view as mentors that might not be your coach, parents, family members that you really trust, a real mentor that has taught you as you grow up. Other teammates of yours, people that you trust. And that you want to trust people whose opinion that you trust as well, not just everybody. How can you not trust your father? Because that's what this is about for Nico Iamaleava. And what it eventually may be, because all the Razorback fans, we had a lot of questions about this yesterday. What do you think this means? Will Madden try to do the same thing? And who knows? I don't even know if he'll ever take a snap at Arkansas as a starting quarterback or not. I just know he's on the team. But if you're Nico and listening to your father might have helped get you to the place where you were now, where you were the Tennessee starting quarterback for a whole year, making 2.4 playoff and everything, and now dad is telling you, you got to listen to me and trust me. This is the right way to go about it. And you do, and now and look, the whole story's not even over yet. He still has a place to go choose and play the rest of his career afterwards. Is this just a blip on the screen of his career? I don't know. Maybe eventually it is. Right now, this is what he's defined as. But how can you not listen to your father? Maybe you say you get bad advice, man. Here, I think in this age, it's like I always think of father-son split, and I think of Prince and Cecil Fielder. I mean, where father had been through all of that stuff of, being a major league player and the negotiations go along with it, acted as the son's agent. And I don't remember the full details of the story, but they end up fighting over money and they haven't spoken for years. And I still remember seeing video of Prince as a bat boy on some of Cecil's teams and just thought, well, what a great father-son story. And it has not ended well. Like, this whole Nico story hasn't ended, Matt. It's just, how can you not listen to your father when he has helped get you to this point? Did he get bad advice? Maybe he did. I just don't know how he could have said, Dad, I don't know if we should do this. You talk about courage, that would be incredibly courageous.
Yeah, no, 100%. Both my parents, they never steer me in the wrong direction. Maybe I should have listened a little more to my parents, but Craig Stadler and Kevin Stadler is the one I always think of when it comes father-son beef. Both professional golfers, and they don't have a single thing. They won't even look in each other's direction. So yeah, it's always kind of makes you sad. You don't know why, I guess, and maybe it's not our part to know why, but yeah, it always makes you think a little bit.
Like LeVar Ball, right? whatever he's done in raising his kids. Look, I mean, those kids are multimillionaires. Do you think they've got beef over that with him? And he deflected a lot of attention off of them towards him himself. When I think of a dad that's been out there, and
or I think of Archie Manning as well with both his boys. I think of Dion right now with
Serena,
with his boys,
Serena and Venus's dad, Earl Woods. But obviously, Tiger feels a little bit differently about Earl than Prince does about Cecil. It'd be interesting to look, years down the line with this decision or this tactic. This hard negotiating tactic of what it meant in Nico Iamaleava's career. And what it means for Madden, man, I don't know. I don't know. Let the kid win a job first at Arkansas before we even, think about that. Because I don't know how many snaps he'll get this next year. He's a third stringer. He's a third stringer right now. Nico showed up on campus at Tennessee with an NIL deal armed and a starting quarterback job already there for him. It's different for Madden. Like, he's not arrived on campus as the anointed prince. That was, for Nico, for the older brother, that's exactly what he was at Tennessee. Which I think also is what makes it, I don't know if hurts the right thing. It's just, like Tennessee stuck their neck out for him with the NCAA in the courts. 877-377-6963. We'll get into more of this with Bill King in just a moment. I had the story I got into a moment ago about the Travelers coach that gave a phone number to a fan in the stands. I got a text and I'll just say it. I got a text from Andrew Hutchinson, who remembered vividly being at a Travelers game during the era that I am describing, and he was asked as a kid to give a ball to a woman in stands from one of the coaches, and it had a note on it. So, I mean, right there, we have a real scribe who is scribing us a story of Coach finding a way to try to, I don't know, have himself a little date or something on the road. Way to go. And it by the way, Hutch thought it was the visiting coach. I really do think it was the home coach. And I think he was over at third base at that moment because he was the Travelers hitting coach. Pretty sure I remember it because he told me he would put those balls in the stands. I remember this vividly myself. I also know about the Clay Maxey Auto Group. Promises to provide a level of service that maximizes your drive at every step in your car ownership experience. There's personalized car buying experience at Clay Maxey Auto Group. Competitive, transparent pricing, reliable, consistent repairs from their factory-trained technicians. They always go beyond the sale, ensuring a seamless, enjoyable, and tailored experience that fits your vehicle needs. That's Clay Maxey Auto Group in Harrison, Mountain Home, Clinton, or Berryville, and online at ClayMaxeyAutoGroup.com. They ask for the opportunity to maximize your drive today. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. He joins us in just a moment on Halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
You looking to revamp your closet? Tired of wearing the same old stuff? Hey, Ty Richardson for Roback, one of our new partners here at ESPN Arkansas. Hoodies, joggers, polos, you name it, they have it. Thankfully, Roback is licensed by the University of Arkansas, so you can add to your Razorback collection. Here's the best part. Because you're an ESPN Arkansas listener, you're going to get 20% off your first order. Just use the code RUSH25 at Roback.com. That's RHOBACK.com.
Every Wednesday night, take the kids to Joe's Grill and Cantina. They will get a delicious meal for $5. And Joe's is bringing out the crayons for a coloring contest where the kids can win cool prizes. And the fun is just starting. It's Kids Karaoke Night. Let that star shine. Join Joe's every Wednesday for Kids Night with the fun atmosphere of Joe's. Come for the food, stay for the fun. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's Kubota Orange Days at Gray Brothers Equipment with interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months and reduced pricing on all Kubota inventory. It's time for your new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 6/30/25, see Gray Brothers Equipment or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Hit the greens for a meaningful cause at Mercy Fort Smith's Birdies for Babies Golf Classic on May 12th at Hardscrabble Country Club. This 4-person scramble features morning and afternoon tee times, with all proceeds benefiting maternal child services and our Level 3A NICU, helping keep families close to home. Enjoy a great day of golf while helping provide essential care for moms and babies right here in the community. Sign up today at mercyhealthfoundation.net/birdies for babies or call 479-314-1133 for more information.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
She was terminally pretty. He had a reputation as a cruel dude that said he was really they had one thing in common. They were good and bad. She said, the lights are turning red. That's me, so you show back. That's so far. Attraction, the top of me, and you it just you always boys, they have the bills. There were lines on the mirror, lines on the face. She pretended not to notice. She was caught up in the business. Out every evening until it was late. He was too tired to make it. She was too tired to fight about it.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
On the Lewis Automotive Group hotline right now is the one and only Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, morning host 6 to 9, and the king of college football talk. So, Bill, this is what do you think's going to happen tomorrow? An uncapped portal begins tomorrow. What sort of craziness are you expecting, or are you not expecting craziness?
Well, and a July 1 deadline to grandfather this in. It has a chance to be the wildest bucking Bronco we've witnessed. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that, but it could get really crazy.
Be crazy in terms of the number of players that end up in the portal, or the names that end up in the portal, or is it just because it's a feeling of a wild, wild west and an untamed frontier?
I would say the overpayment to players could get wild, because if indeed July 1 is the hard deadline and everything's in-house after that, you've got a $20.5 million cap for your whole athletic department. You can't be chucking $4 million at somebody. It's a different era we're going into. And if you do want to get a collective involved outside of that, you've got to go through a clearinghouse. And at least we are told, guys, that the clearinghouse is not going to be clearing that kind of stuff.
How are the Tennessee Nation taking this? Is it more like, hey, if you don't want to be here, then we'll find somebody else that is? Or did they see Nico as like a generational talent that could lead him to the promised land? Is there a disconnect with some of the fans and Josh Heupel? Like, I guess what I'm saying is, what side are the fans on?
I would say typically they would be hurt. But it was such a betrayal, it's almost good riddance. I think that's where they are. Because when you no-show Friday at the end of spring, before the spring game on Saturday, and you ghost everybody, and they can't get hold of you, then you've hit the point of no return. There is no return for the player or Tennessee. Tennessee can't take him back in. You imagine that locker room? You'd be held hostage if you did that. So I think, again, guys, it was such a impersonal betrayal and disrespect that I think everybody's just washed with it. Now, guys, Tennessee's got some real issues on offense that they've got to deal with, and this is part of it, but I think they're willing to take the consequences.
Where all right, so now they need a quarterback, and I would look at there's two sides to this. Now Iamaleava is going to go out looking for a job at quarterback, and there's an opportunity for somebody to come into Tennessee because they just have a couple of freshmen who've taken a handful of snaps or something. So could Tennessee upgrade, right? And we don't know who will be available, but this is kind of what you're getting at in the wildness of this, and the idea too of, well, you know that they're not going to be paying $4 million for whomever it is they sign, but they could upgrade, right?
Nico Iamaleava, with a lot of upside, has not lived up to that yet. Now, he's just a true junior coming up, and I'm not going to erase the possibility that he could achieve that. But to date, he has not been the player that we thought he would be. And his worth, supposedly right now, in the open market isn't the 2.5 he was making at Tennessee or the 4 he wanted, but about $1 million. Now, guys, we know that could change. But as of right now, that seems to be the case. And they've got 2.5 a year that they were paying him freed up. Now, I don't know if they want to use all that or not. But, guys, they've got a couple of young quarterbacks that are not ready. Jake Merklinger's a 4-star, going to be a second-year guy coming up. And then George McIntyre is a freshman. That's it. And they've got questions at receiver. They've got questions at offensive tackle. you lost the best running back in the league and the player of the year in Dylan Sampson. They've got a lot of issues, but yes, they got to go get a quarterback.
You know, Bill, I'm a Josh Heupel fan. I think I've told you that. What is his plan? How do you think he responds? I mean, to get this offense going, he's kind of got some challenges going forward.
No question. And that team, that 22 team that was so good with Hendon Hooker and 2 first-round talents at wide receiver, just loaded. And you probably can't duplicate that yearly, but they have dropped off precipitously since then. And we'll see. But they've got lots of areas to fix, but they've got to go get a guy that can lead them and also fit into that spread out offense that Heupel runs. It's not all that complicated, and it's heavy. People think it's a passing offense. It's really probably more of a running offense. It's just that little A-gap run, and they succeed on it almost all the time. But you've got to get a guy. A couple names I've heard: Avery Johnson at Kansas State, maybe the Beck kid at Iowa State. Now, again, they've done nothing. Avery Johnson, but no news yet on who that could be.
Bill, I explain a little more about this July 1st deadline, because I understand that's when the calendar flips for college athletics, really, from one year to the next. Is it the idea that if the settlement is not approved by July 1st, then you can't abide by those rules in the next sports calendar year?
Technically, yes. July 1 is the date if the settlement goes through, where everything is now in-house. And inside the new law, if you will, is a $20.5 million cap. Now, that is for your entire athletic department. And throwing crazy money around won't be an option like the lawless mercenary environment we're in right now. They also tell us you don't have to get rid of collectives. They're not barred, but all of those deals got to go to a clearinghouse. And I think that's going to be a problem. That's why you've got this vicious front-loading run that's possible heading into July 1, because everything you get in before then is grandfathered.
Bill, you know that Nico's younger brother, Madden, is at Arkansas. He's at spring ball right now and competing for, I think, third string or backup. And just reading into Nico's situation at Tennessee, it seems that this is a family where the father makes the decisions and the rest of the family is expected to follow suit. Now, I don't know what that means for Madden's future in terms of Arkansas, but what do you know about the dynamics of the Iamaleava family and Nick, the father?
There is no agent, although Nick is the agent, if that makes sense. He's the one calling the shot. He's the one that makes the decisions on the money and if it's satisfactory, and he's made a lot of mistakes. And if I'm Arkansas, I'm sure Arkansas is very aware of everything, much more than we think. But better watch out, because the dad is bad news.
When it first came out, it looked like Nico was going to go be a Tar Heel. Does Belichick make a splash? Does he go out and get a quarterback to run year one there in North Carolina up there on Chapel Hill, or does he already have somebody?
Yeah, they took a transfer. They took a transfer. Heck, Ole Miss, who has the Simmons kid as their starter, took a kid from Ferris State today. Now, I don't know if they promised him he'd start, but some interesting moves.
You've been watching any college baseball over the last weekend? Vanderbilt bounced back nicely, and man, it scored double digits. I didn't know it was in them in order to at least pick up a win over Oklahoma.
I watched the Tennessee-Ole Miss series. Tennessee literally, I don't know how they won that series. In Game 3, they had 6 errors. The infield, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, unless it's a Little League game. The infield looked like they were scared to field the ball, the Tennessee infield, and somehow they pulled that game out 10-8. But, yeah, I watched Arkansas, Georgia, a bunch of that. Watched A&M, who's really got the bats going, a phenomenal comeback. A lot of good ball. LSU got swept by Auburn. Auburn's a good team, but I didn't expect that. Wow.
Texas atop the standings right now, too. You know, I mean, Texas goes the farthest in the college football playoff. Right now, they lead the SEC in baseball. And, you know, it's just, you look at the two sports that Texas has always specialized in, and they've come into the SEC and competed just kind of, I guess, the way you might expect.
No doubt. Very attractive team. And we've got a stretch run here, guys. It's going to be fun. Tennessee's trying to bring back A.J. Russell, who's a first-round talent who's been out a year. He's pitched a little bit. I think they're going to move him to the weekend. That might help them. Their bats have been good, but not as good. It's going to be fun.
Well, we'll see them the last weekend of the regular season here in Fayetteville. Oh, yeah. Can't wait for that, but we'll have to wait about another month. Bill, always appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Guys. Yeah, man. Thanks.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. He's with us every Tuesday on Halftime. Worth your time, too. I always tune in on the TuneIn app. It's WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. I want to tell you about Roback, this brand that's redefining comfort. Best hoodies, best joggers, polos, performance tees. Roback has the best fit, the absolute best feel. What sets them apart is fabric quality. Everything they make is buttery soft, stretchy in all the right ways, and ridiculously comfortable. How about the Roback hoodie? Hands down, softest hoodie you'll ever find. Not even exaggerating. So many athletes wear them. I get it now. You compare it with Sprint joggers, you're golden. Lightweight, breathable, super soft. Whether you're out and about or just posted up, it is the go-to fit. It's Roback, and if you're ready to upgrade your comfort game, you can go to their website, roback.com. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off by using the code RUSH25 at checkout. You can get hoodies, joggers, and more, 20% off, roback.com with the code checkout RUSH25. Now stay with Halftime, back to get into the home stretch right after this break.
This is Halftime.
Texting enrolls you in a reoccurring automated text message.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Get luxury without the splurge with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box, as saucy as ever. The $7 Supreme box, packed with decadent favorites. And the $9 Discovery box brings new indulgences like toasted cheddar street chalupas. It's the Lux you want for less. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget. Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level. And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story. Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit and a hat trick.
Introducing the Azalea
So
Punch.
let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground
Performance
tactics, no
polos,
rabbit and
koozies,
a hat trick.
hoodies. Built for comfort.
So let's
Need?
take you back to the concrete streets.
Check out
Original
our
beats
latest
and
drop.
real live MCs.
Throwback.com.
Playground tactics, no. So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit and a hat tricks. Just that classic rap shit.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Think a one-stop shop.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, where did we go? Days when the rains came down in the hollow, playing a new game, laughing and a running, hey, hey, skipping and a jumping. Morning fog with our hearts a thumping, and you, brown-eyed girl, you, my brown-eyed girl.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, I think, in New York on the tabloids, just because of Juan Soto saying he's not being pitched to the same because he doesn't have Aaron Judge hitting behind him because he's no longer a New York Yankee. But then how does that make Pete Alonso feel? Because that's who's hitting behind Soto right now. And Alonso's he's not an Aaron Judge, but he's also not a slouch. But that's a slap in the face to your current teammate who you're hitting in front of. And, I mean, how do you answer that question? I guess the question is, what's different for you right now than it was last year? And if you're going to be honest about it, well, I'm not getting pitched to the same, because pitchers don't respect Pete Alonso the same way they do Aaron Judge. I don't know what their relationship would be like that, but I'd be like, come on now.
I don't know why you throw your teammate under the bus. You know, what you say is, I got to get back into the lab. I got to get back into working. I'm just, for whatever reason, it's not going, but you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to figure it out. What a bad teammate. I mean, that's just, it's just, you start doing stuff like that. How many of those teammates up there now that they're just like, come on, bro, get over yourself.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, he's reaching base. He's just not getting. I don't think he's getting the same pitches to hit because they're just they're not challenging him as well. You can kind of walk. You can pitch around Soto a little bit more, I guess, in those pitchers' minds. But I agree. Just it's a bad look for specifically the guy that's hitting behind you, who, oh, by the way, is a fan favorite in New York. They're just not spending quite the same money on him. 877-377-6963 calls and text on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Caleb in Pangburn asks if we see Wood this weekend. I don't know if you'll see Wood. My guess is yes, you probably do. I think it'll be in relief. As far as the extra starter's concerned, and I know Dave will be asked about this post-game after the UAPB game tonight, what's your starting rotation going to look like over the weekend? And he doesn't have to release it until tomorrow, but I would assume it's Zach Root, Ben Bybee, and then Landon Beidlecheese. And it's just some of the writing on the wall will be today, because Bybee has been pitching on Tuesdays, just not as a starter recently. if he's going to start Friday's game, he's not going to pitch today. So I don't think we're going to see Ben Bybee pitch today. But that would be the thing you look at for a little clue into who's going to be starting this weekend and potentially filling in for Gabe Gackle. Now, what if you see Gackle in relief this weekend? Because it would make sense. I mean, if he's going to pitch a little bit over the weekend and didn't throw that many pitches in the start on Saturday, for Tuesday, there'd be a couple days rest. You might be ready for a bullpen. I don't know. I think Gackle will work in relief this weekend, and my guess is Bybee to start coming up here sometime soon. And I guess, again, I think that's going to be Saturday. And lots of texts coming in asking about weather for this weekend. Jim used the official word we won't be using on the baseball broadcasts. The correct term, Jim, is wettish, and it does look very wettish on Friday and Saturday. This is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series in order to give both teams a chance to be home for Easter. So you have to have the series. Got to get it in by Saturday. My guess would be you could do a doubleheader if you need to. Maybe Friday, but Friday even looks like it could be hit or miss just because, in the daytime, scattered showers, nighttime looks like good rain. But we've kind of been screwed with the weather this year for baseball. You haven't really had one of those great weekends, not in a conference weekend yet. We've had better weather on the road. So they could move things around, but they're not going to. That's part of the problem with the doubleheader or with scheduling the football scrimmage or the spring game Saturday to coincide at the end of the spring game to coincide with allowing people enough time to get to Baum Walker and for the broadcasts to not have to conflict and everything like that, and it could end up having a very big monkey wrench thrown into it. And I also wonder about what that means for the spring game. If it could, I forget the year that they had to move inside because of I think it was supposed to be a game in Little Rock at War Memorial, and you ended up just doing it indoors at the Smith Center because it was so miserable all throughout the state. So I have no inside knowledge as to what they're going to do, but these are possibilities just based on what we've seen recently. Might not be the best weekend for, grilling outdoors unless you got a patio that's covered up. Sounded like Ty finally rebuilt his grill properly. It took him a few months to do it.
What do you think Ty cooks on his grill? What's he?
Better be meat.
Is he a smoker? Does he?
Steaks
steaks and burgers.
Steaks that he grills the crap out of to where they're nice and brown and black all the way through, and then dumps ketchup on it. Right?
You know what? Nothing sets off a good steak like a fine ketchup.
Well, you just want to make sure that you smoke it as much as you possibly can, so that the smoke alarm inside the kitchen, even though you're grilling outside, the smoke pours inside the house from as much as you're burning this thing.
Get you some mesquite little chips in there. You can kind of throw you some different flavors on it. Man, you can do so much. I just wonder. I bet he's into it.
I'm so out. I don't even have a grill. I cook indoors. I cook on the cast iron, and if it's a steak, cast iron. Start it on the cast iron, singe the heck out of it, finish that thing in the oven. Doesn't always need to be on a grill. We all feel like we're cavemen if we're like outdoors. We're hunter gatherers now that we can be outside. Cook on open fire, which isn't even open fire because you put gas. It's from a gas. It's from gas. Most of us have gas
propane.
grills.
Yeah.
I did teach Ty about, would you eat Pittsburgh rare steak? Don't ever do this with a burger. Burgers are not meant for Pittsburgh rare. But would you eat a steak? You got to do this on the cast iron. I think it only works on a cast iron because you got to get the cast iron as hot as you can possibly get it, like over 500 degrees. And you singe that steak on both sides to where it's crispy. And then you serve it. I mean, it is basically singe, flip, singe, serve. Let it sit, though. You're always supposed to let your meat sit so that the juices collect and don't fall out. Pittsburgh rare is the closest to actually being alive and actually still being cooked. It's so rare it's blue in the middle.
Depends on where I am on how I order my steak. Usually I never get it over medium, but it just depends on what kind of establishment you're at. And, if you're at a steakhouse, medium rare all day. I mean, but if you're at a chain that that cooks just in there, making probably want to go medium to make sure, but usually it just depends on where I am.
I probably won't be eating at the chain steakhouses too much. The really nice ones, where it's $50 and there's no menu, they roll the menu out to you, and some of the
market price. Yeah.
Yes, and some of the menu is still alive. The crabs are still alive, and the lobsters. Those are the ones and the fake desserts. That was one of my favorite things. You think they roll out the dessert tray that it's fake desserts, right? Well, then you grab a hold of a giant ice cream ball and realize it was not fake, that it is actually the real thing. Those are the steakhouses that I'll order the steak at and order it nice and rare and close to bloody, which is the way my parents eat a steak. That's how I was raised to eat one, and that's why I couldn't eat one until I finally got into my late 20s.
Deerwood Kirby burger, bloody.
You don't want to eat a burger, though, bloody.
Unless it's a Deerwood Kirby burger.
Oh, because in that case, it's actually...
It's at Jackrabbit Slim's. It's choice.
It will never be diseased. No. Let's see. Text coming in. Jesse likes it with thyme, garlic butter.
You'll never
in
guess.
The cast iron. That's right.
I can't believe I buried the lead all day today. So I watch Jeopardy probably 90% of my days. It comes on at 4:30, and you would never guess what a category was on Jeopardy yesterday. Quentin Tarantino movie quotes. All right. So there's 5 Quentin Tarantino. And of course I got every single, it was like, of course I didn't, but I was like, I better get all these.
This is like the foods that start with the letter Q.
I was like, look at Jeopardy, like throwing me a bone. I might have got 6 total questions, the rest of them, but you put on Tarantino movie quotes and it was just woof.
You know the answers. You know the questions before they even show the answers.
Oh, my goodness. I was like, that's how everybody else feels when they're playing Jeopardy on every other category that comes on when you see something like that.
No,
yeah.
that's what people know. It's like to have a conversation with you. Because about every 5 minutes,
I really don't have a conversation with a lot of people. That's a very true. I'll go all week and maybe talk to 3 people.
But this is how we actually communicate now. There is a subset of American males that communicate only in movie quotes, and probably like it's from my age, and you and I communicate on different levels, Matt. You know a lot more of the newer movies than I do, but my guys, we're communicating through Caddyshack, Animal House quotes, Fletch. You can basically just have a full conversation with somebody, and it's only quotes from Fletch and nothing else. I don't know if you and I could have. I still feel like you need to see.
I haven't seen those as much as you.
You haven't seen those ones. I got to get you to see that one at some point.
More Guy Ritchie and Tarantino. Yeah, you got it.
Slapshot has to be one that you see at some point. That one. So if I'm going to watch The French Connection, I need to get you to watch Slapshot.
I'm in. I'll watch it for sure.
They brought their freaking toys. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Let's take a break. Back to wrap up the show in just a moment.
This is halftime.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Let the fun begin at 810 Billiards and Bowling. We've got daily specials to keep the good times rolling. Martini Mondays along with bingo, $2 Tuesdays, high noon Wednesdays, and thirsty Thursdays. Plus, Friday is ladies' night. You love trivia? Join us on Wednesday for trivia night. Great food, great drinks, and endless fun all day, every day. All at 810 Billiards and Bowling, 5609 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. We'll see you there.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Every Thursday, take a trip down memory lane at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's is bringing back the flavors you loved from Cuco's, the beloved restaurant that once called this place home. Join Joe's Grill and Cantina for Throwback Thursday and savor classic Cuco's dishes. It's the taste from the past with the vibrant atmosphere of Joe's. Don't miss out on the reunion every Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Come for the food, stay for the memories. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Sharp Equipment is your one-stop shop for heavy equipment. Whether your machine's rattling, sputtering, or flat out refusing to start, we've got the parts and expertise to get you moving again. Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Look no further than Sharp Equipment, an authorized Wacker Newson dealer. Needing hydraulic or industrial hoses? Sharp Equipment's got what you need. Come see us at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500. At Sharp Equipment, we help you move more than just the world, we help you move forward.
Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes are cool because they give you options. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and the adventurous $9 box. So, yeah, choices are great. But don't sleep on how there's only 3. Perfect number. Imagine if there were, 49 choices. That's too many. Or if there were just one, get out of here. So 3 it is. You just gotta pick one. Choose your $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. While supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Whisper, all I really want is you. I am in the rain with you. All I really want is you. What you do, sleeping outside the moon. Head down. I don't know when to come over here now. You take my hand like there's a way out. Right now. And we're escaping through the window. Whisper, all I really want is you.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I say Fletch lines, and BE sends me like 5 or 6 of them all at once. He wants to borrow my towel for a sec because his car hit a water buffalo. 877-377-6963 for all of your Fletch or Chevy Chase quiz. Really the Chevy Chase movies that all of my friends can quote. I don't know if any of them, what was the show that he did that he got kicked off of? Community? I don't think anybody remembered the quotes from that one whatsoever. Did you answer, Matt, all of the Quentin Tarantino
absolutely.
lines perfectly?
Absolutely.
Of course you did. It's a dumb question. It's a really dumb question. You would think you'd be really good at Jeopardy just based upon that, but Jeopardy's a heck of a lot tougher.
Oh, there's some things, you don't know, but it's been pretty cool. I've been doing it for a while, and it's just every once in a while, usually there's something I can get a whole category if it's sports related, but I couldn't believe it said Quentin Tarantino. I thought, well, maybe they're going to try to trick you or something, but it was like, no, it's like, it was easy.
So there's Jeopardy every day. There's Johnny Carson. And then today there's
Carson's taking a back seat because it used to be at 9. My bedtime, it starts at 10 now, so I don't watch Carson as much. But sometimes I'll catch a little bit, but I don't see it as much.
But there's Champions League today. Who we got?
Lucky. Man, it's the second leg. It's a return leg, so it's gonna be. Some of these are already decided, but I'm a Villa fan. They play PSG and then Dortmund and Barcelona. Barcelona's so much young talent, but Marcus Rashford was a malcontent, kind of like Jimmy Butler on Miami's team. He was at Man United, just wasn't digging it, out of favor with the new coach. Just wasn't working for him. Highest paid player on the team goes to Villa. Now he's playing in the Champions League game. He's uber talented.
Justin texted in and wanted to test your knowledge of Quentin Tarantino lines. Just give this one a shot, okay? It says, see if Matt remembers this one. Quote, when I elbow you in the face real hard, that means shut up, unquote.
What, you got to tell me what movie it is.
Do we know what movie that is, Justin? He knows. So I think he's asking if you know what movie it is. But I can't remember which one it was either. He'll text it into us. We'll find what it was, but I didn't know which one it was. Good try, though, Justin. Sorry for putting you on the spot, though, there.
Who did you put on the spot?
You.
Are we sure that's a Tarantino quote?
I don't know.
You got to cite your source a couple times.
I'm trusting what Justin said, because I don't remember that one. Baseball tonight, 5:30 airtime, 6 o'clock first pitch. It's UAPB. They have really struggled. Man, they had a whole weekend where they got rained out 2 weeks ago. That's gotta suck. It's like you go to play baseball somewhere and you never even got out of the hotel. I did that once. 4 rainouts in a row in the minor leagues. That was plus it was a Shoney's Inn in Bossier City, which was not. That's not a place you want to just be stuck for 4 days while it's raining.
That's when Kurt Russell goes, "How do you like the sound of those bells, Bi?" That would be the next line after that. Yeah. No, I got you. I'm hip to it.
You ever stay at a Shoney's Inn? You ever eaten at a Shoney's? You ever stay at a Shoney's Inn and eaten all your meals at the Shoney's in the parking lot of the Shoney's Inn in Bossier City? I did that, and this was right before I met the girl that sent me her phone number from 200 yards away down in the stands at Ravender Field. That's right. That's when I thought I'd written the wrong number down and was never going to see her again. Yes, we sit in Bossier City, Shoney's Inn, 4 consecutive days, with the exception of 2 hours when it stopped raining. They took us to the ballpark to think, well, we're going to take the tarp off the field and then we'll be able to play a game. So they take the tarp off the field. It had been raining for 4 straight days. The stench hit us so hard in the dugout. There were guys that ran into the clubhouse just to throw up. It's one of the worst smells ever. You could see the worms crawling up out of the dirt. We didn't play that day. And I don't know why we didn't just go home that day, because nobody was going to go on that baseball field for another few days after that. It was truly one of the worst smells I've ever had. But it'll smell a lot better tonight at Baum Walker because it's $2 hot dogs, and there's nothing quite like the smell of a hot dog at a ball game, no matter how much it costs. So that's 5:30 airtime, 6 o'clock when we get the game started, and we'll kick some of that stuff all over again tomorrow when we reconvene for halftime, which will include Grant Hall and the one and only Clay Henry, where you can read his columns at Whole Hog Sports. And that's when we'll talk to you next. Matt, enjoy Champions League. Woo! Christian, C-Unit, enjoy putting together the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast, which will be coming out shortly. And, hey, when we wake up tomorrow morning, it's a very, very brand new world. The uncapped portal season will be upon us. Stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a few minutes. That's halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.